So the big science happened. A lot of that happened here. Probably more of it's happening now in Europe with CERN. They've taken that next leap. But the technology that started here in Silicon Valley, back in the early microwave days with Russ Varian and Bill Hansen and those folks, progressed through a number of small operations, small companies, through World War II and big funding, bringing people back from the Rad Lab and the radio lab back to Stanford, created quite a burst of energy here in development, not only of big science equipment, but also of medical type equipment that has been really important for our health and development over the years. So I want to remind you again, I've got the website up there if you want to go look at this. When we put this up, we'll actually put up a good version of the video with the sound, and you'll be able to hear that. So now I'm open for questions for the panel or for individuals. Does somebody have something they'd like to kick in? Or Dave, do you have something you'd like to contribute based on what you've heard here?
Well, one interesting story about Pief Konoski. Pief was at Cal during the time of the loyalty oaths. And he decided, based on his background and how he felt about it, that he would not work at a place. He would sign one, but he wouldn't work at a place that required it. And that caused a great upset. But he left anyhow, and he was coming to Stanford, and he got a message from Louis Alvarez, who said, "Pief, what a disaster. Your physics career is ended. Nothing ever happens there. It's just a farm."
That's good. A question asked, what was the gain and efficiency of these early Klystrons? And Dick, maybe you know something about that. I remember that the efficiency was around 35%. What kind of gains did you get in your three cavity device?
Boy, I really don't remember. Well, here's the average power was 4 kilowatts, and it's creating RF power of 2 megawatts. But remember, it's only 5 microseconds long.
There's pulse mode.
Right.
So in a pulse mode, you're putting in 4 kilowatts, getting out 2 megawatts. And the efficiency, I think I've read, was around the mid-30s, 30%. Is that about right, Dave?
You're looking at me. I'm not a two-man.
You're not a two-man, that's right. Okay.
I'm a historian.
Okay.
My recollection is it was they had like 60 dB gain in multi-cavity Klystrons, which is a lot, and that the efficiency wasn't as good as it became later when people figured out how to get the energy back out of the collector.
And you'll notice in that video, George's new Klystron had that 5-stage resonator that helped optimize that also, probably brought it up. Alan, here's a question for you. I think we answered the first part. Was Panofsky originally in the physics department before he joined SLAC?
Yes.
So he was.
He was,
and did he always wear a Western-style string tie?
Yeah, I don't know exactly where he picked that up. He went to Caltech, I guess, after. I don't know whether it was before the war, probably. He met his wife there, the daughter of the physics department chair. And maybe it was at Caltech that he picked that up, or then he went to Berkeley. But yeah, I guess at Berkeley he left. It was after the Oppenheimer case that sort of made people worried about overclassification. Pief actually, after Congress voted for the money, they insisted that there would be classified work done at SLAC, and Pief said to Congress, if you try to force that, I'll give you your $114 million back, and we'll cancel the project. And Congress backed down. I think probably the only time Congress
Okay.
backs down.
Thanks, Alan. Go ahead with the question. I'll take this.
No, I wonder, Don Chester, I was a student at Stanford from 55 through 59, got my bachelor's in 59. One of the things that Stanford did back in that era is they put their brightest instructors teaching freshmen.
Looks pretty good.
And what they basically said was, we want to get them started in the right direction. So I had two Nobel Prize winners for two of the 3 quarters taking physics at Stanford in 1955-56 class. Panofsky was one of them. He's a fascinating individual as an instructor. We walked into class one day. The classroom had five tiers of blackboards that slid up and down. So he's up there going along like mad. We're scratching, trying to keep up with him. And then he stopped. We were studying rockets. Action equals reaction. So he reaches down under the counter at the front of the classroom. And he pulled out a water Tommy gun. Walked down to the end of the thing and proceeded to go through and squirt everybody in the class. And we're all diving, hiding our paper. And he basically said, action equals reaction.
There's a very good non-Newtonian answer. Okay, well, I want to wrap it up. A shortcut I've been told for our URL, which you see up there, is www.siliconvalleyhistory.com. So if you just remember siliconvalleyhistory.com, you'll be at our URL. I want to thank you for coming. We'll have a discussion up here for a little while, but we do want to clear out by 8:30. So, Brian, do you want to wrap us up?
Well, I absolutely want to thank you, Paul, for moderating this event, gathering these people.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Also, thank you very much to Francine. She's still in the back. She took all our
Thank you,
tickets.
Francine.
Thank you.
And Tom?
And Tom Gledger, who picked up our food, who's our treasurer over there. Thank you very much, Tom. And thank you once again to all the speakers and for everybody for coming. Thank you very kindly.
Okay, good night.
All right.